What is up, guys? DragXCyrus here, and today we're looking at version 2.1.1 in Summer's War. The new Panda Warriors have been released, as well as some more information. So let's go ahead and take a look. The first Panda Warrior is Xiong Fei. I'm pretty sure that's how you pronounce it, Xiong Fei. He's the defensive type monster, as you guys can see. His HP is pretty decent. It's nothing too special, but it's decent. It's 10k, 545. The attack is kind of low, 615, but he's a defensive monster, so he does not need the attack. And then his defense is at 823. Pretty good for defensive monster, and the speed's kind of low at 96, so you're gonna want to make sure to pick that up in the substats. First skill, attacks the enemy 3 times with each strike, having a 30% chance to decrease the enemy's defense for 2 turns. A nice first skill, if I do say so myself. Love those skills with the defense break. Second skill, Calm Mind. Removes the harmful effects casted on yourself and counterattacks for 2 turns when attacked. So it only removes harmful effects off yourself and allows you to counterattack for 2 turns. This would be added through a buff onto him. And then he also recovers 15% of the HP of all allies each turn for the next 2 turns. This will also be given through a heal buff that he applies on your whole team. So he removes effects off himself, allows himself to counterattack, and then gives a heal buff to your entire team. Third skill, Panda Supremacy. Attacks the enemy 4 times with each strike having a 50% chance to apply random harmful effects. The damage is proportionate to your max defense and the enemy's max HP. So this skill should do some pretty nice damage, as well as, depending on the random harmful effects, will determine how successful it is in those terms. But all in all, this skill is an awesome skill. You're definitely gonna want to put him in raids and necro. That's where this monster excels in. He can also be used in other dungeons, and with the right runes he can also be used in arena and not so much guild wars, but in certain niche situations you can use him in guild wars. Also, he has that defense leader, which is really gonna help in raids. If you don't have a defensive leader for raids, well, this guy, best choice for you. So let's just take a look at his unawakened form. Pretty cool. It reminds me totally of World of Warcraft, their Pandarian expansion. But pretty cool guy. I'm looking forward to fusing this guy. I have all the materials. The water one, this is Mo Long. I'm pretty sure that's how you pronounce it, is Mo Long. He's an HP type monster. It's 12,675 health. Pretty nice health. It's around the same amount as Briand, so you could expect that he is going to be decently tanky with his HP in those terms. His attack, I think it's a little higher than the fire. Yeah, just a little bit higher, but the defense is a lot lower. And the speed is the same, so you're still going to want to pick up the speed in the substats. First skill, same thing. Second skill, attacks all enemies 3 times, with each strike having a 15% chance to remove a beneficial effect, and stuns them for 1 turn. This attack will deal more damage according to your max HP. So this is a really nice skill. I really like this skill. It allows him to be more useful in TOA, considering that he has that AoE stun. And then you can remove beneficial effects. So he can also, with this skill, it can also have some use in the arena. His third skill, Reckless Assault. Launches a reckless attack that damages the enemy by 70% of its HP at the cost of receiving the same amount of damage. The damage can't exceed your current HP. So, and will be 20% less effective against boss enemies. So what this means is, if you have only 20k HP, like, you're gonna of course have more, since he's an HP monster, you're gonna want to build him with HP. But like, for example, if you have 20k HP and the enemy has like 47k HP, you're not gonna hit them for 20k HP. Because it's not gonna exceed your HP. You'll hit them for 19k HP instead. This guy also has the leader skill for HP, 33%. He's gonna be really useful in the arena. What you're gonna want to do is make sure you have a healer that's speed tuned with him. The healer has to go right after him so that the healer can heal him up after he uses his third ability. And then on top of that, you would need a third monster, hopefully an AoE monster, to finish off whoever he hit with that third ability. So that AoE monster will have to go right after your healer. So make sure your speed is tuned together for to make the most use of this monster in the arena. It increases its accuracy by 25%. Pretty nice, considering that it has a defense break on the first skill, as well as the stun. Just all around actually helps, except for the third. Actually doesn't do anything for the third ability, but that's okay. That's a lot of damage that's going to be doing. 70% to players, and then and trash mobs, and then 50% to bosses is no laughing matter. There's his unawakened form. What the fuck just went on there? It's awakened form. Got like sort of this grass effect going on around them. What's this guy effect? Increases resistance by 25%. So again, raids. You're gonna want him in your raid team for sure. Perfect fucking monster for raids. Hey, so let's go ahead, go check out the wind. His name is Feng Yan. Feng Yan. Let me know if that's the correct pronunciation or not for their names. Same first skill. Calm Mind is the second skill. Removes the harmful effects off himself, allows him to counterattack, and then adds the heal buff to the allies. His third skill, Winds and Clouds. Passive. Your attack bar increases by 30% whenever you are attacked. Your attacks will inflict additional damage that is proportionate to your defense whenever you attack. His leader skill, 44% defense in guild battles. Guild battles only. Pretty nice defense buff if you want to use a defense buff. Pair him nicely with a monster like Copper and shit like that. And increase critical rate by 15%. So the wind is good in dungeons, can be good in some arena situations and some guild war. A lot depends on the multiplier of his passive in terms of how much damage it adds to his first skill, based on the damage proportional to his defense. So if it's a high multiplier, you add some crit damage onto him and make him a defensive monster, so defense, crit damage, defense. He should be doing some pretty nice damage. All in all, I don't find anything too special with this monster. I don't really like him too much. He can be better in my eyes, but some people may like him, especially since he has that counter attack. So he's gonna be hitting a lot with his first ability, and since his passive increases the damage of his first ability, that could be beneficial. 10k HP, decent HP. A nice defense. I think it's lower than fire. Yeah, just by a little bit. And the attack, still low, just like the other pandas, but it's the highest one thus far. And now let's check out the light one. Tian Lang. He's an HP monster, has some nice HP with 12,345. The attack so far is the highest at 681. Still pretty low attack, but decent for what we've seen amongst the pandas. The defense only 637, so the defense can use a little bit of work, and the speed as well only 96, so you're definitely going to want to pick that up in the substats. For his second skill, he has the AoE stun as well as beneficial effect remover. Yeah, it's in total it's only going to remove 3 beneficial effects, as it only removes 1 beneficial effect each hit, depending if it actually lands. And his third ability, Strong Energy, passive. The effect of all attack bar increasing skills of both allies and enemies will be decreased by 50%. Your attack bar will increase by 20% whenever the enemy uses an attack bar increasing skill. This skill will not apply to an opponent that has the same skill or boss skills. Leader skill, 44% HP in guild battles, and he gets 25% increased accuracy, which again goes really nice with his second ability and his first ability. Shouldn't do anything for his passive. So now the light, it will be good, really good in arena. I'm looking forward to seeing this monster play out, but mainly what this monster is going to do in arena is he's going to counter Lucian teams. Basically what's going to happen is the Bernard is going to go, and his attack bar increase is going to be reduced by 50%. So 30% reduced by 50%. And then this guy's attack bar is going to be increased, Tian Lang is going to be increased by 20%, allowing him to take the turn right after Bernard, or whatever other attack bar increasing monster you decide to use for your devolution. So he's going to end up going before the buffer and the devolutions. Or perhaps, depending on the buffer's speed, after the buffer, which could be a better situation. Which will allow him to stun one or both of those Lucians and remove that speed buff and or the attack power buff. So this is going to be a great monster to counter those double Lucian teams, as well as other attack bar increasing teams, though double Lucian is the most famous one. Besides Arena, you may be able to use him in Guild Wars as well. He can be very beneficial against any attack bar increasing teams there as well. And he can also have his use in some TOA stages. Only some TOA stages though, because not every TOA stage is going to have attack bar increasing effects, which of course is going to make his use less useful. But certain situations there he will excel in, and you may consider bringing him. So the last one is the Dark Panda Warrior. His name is Mi Ying. Again, correct me if I pronounce the name wrong. As far as I know, I think I pronounced the names correct. So hopefully that's a tap on my back. So this is the only attack type Panda Warrior. The other ones are HP and defense. So there's one thing unique going for this one. His HP is decent at 10k. His attack at 801. The defense somewhat decent. And the speed, he's the only one with 111 speed. So he has the same speed. Same speed as Bernard, I believe. Let's just go check that out really quick. Yeah, he has the same speed as a Bernard. So he's... if you build him with a lot of speed, you should be able to keep up with any other Bernard you see. Assuming you have like the same level of runes and shit. His second skill, Calm Mind, gives him the counter attacks as well as remove harmful effects on himself, and gives the heal buff to his team. Third skill, Almighty Strength, attacks all enemies, decreasing their attack power for 2 turns, and casts a shield on yourself equivalent to 20% of the damage inflicted for 3 turns. And then he has the leader skill, attack power by 44% in guild battles. And then increases attack speed by 15. So that's why he's at 111, because he gets that attack speed increased for his awaken ability. And I do believe fire and water are the only universal skill leaders. Now the dark panda, his third is similar to Brandia's second skill, except instead of being based on your level, it's 20% of the damage inflicted. So if the multiplier is good and you have good runes, he can have a pretty nasty shield set on himself. This is also, unlike Brandia's skill, an AoE damage skill. So you pair him with a monster like, say, Galleon, and you should be seeing some nice numbers off him. But again, this depends a lot on what the multiplier for his third skill is. He should be great for arena. That's where I figure I'm going to see him the most. In dungeons, he can be useful. Considering that he has that attack power debuff, and he can put the shield on himself to give himself the sustainability. You can use him as a farmer. He can also be used in TOA because of his second skill being the stun. And then his third skill being an AoE damage ability. You put Despair on him, he can most definitely be put in TOA. And also in some niche situations in Guild Wars, because there are other options that you may want to use for Guild Wars, but in certain situations you can consider bringing him. That way you can ensure that you get the attack power debuff on the enemies, as well as stuns and all that goodness. But if you use them in Arena or Guild Wars, I would consider putting Violent on him instead of Despair. Okay, so those are the new Panda Warriors. So let's go ahead and check out the other updates. First one being the new recipes have been added for the Fusion Hexagram, for the Panda Warrior 5-star, the Horst Water 4-star, and the Kung Fu Girl Wind 4-star. Of course, you can't have the fusion without these, so of course those are added. Another thing really nice that Com2uS did for all the people struggling to get the Veramos fusion, they added secret dungeons for the Fire Beast Hunter, Water Grim Reaper, and the Wind Lizardman. So this makes it a lot easier for newer players to catch up, and for those players struggling to get the Veramos fusion, it makes it a lot easier for them to finally get it, especially if they've been having trouble getting the Fire Beast Hunter, which wasn't a farmable monster but now is. There's a few UI improvements. With the new Fusion Info button, you will be able to view the information of the fusible monsters more conveniently. This new feature will be located on the upper left side of the Fusion page. So let's go ahead and see if we can check that out. So I'll close this page real quick. And there it is right there for everyone to see, right at the top left corner. A nice little fusion table to allow you to more conveniently figure out what mats you actually need to do your fusion. A nice quality of life improvement that Com2uS added for us. I really like it. I really do like it. Okay, so next UI improvement, the monster info page will now display whether or not the monster is part of the fusion recipe. So again, let's go ahead and check that out. Close down that page, open up the collection tab. We know that the Panda Warrior is a part of the fusion now, so let's go ahead and click on that. So I don't see where it's saying that it's part of the fusion. Is it maybe the materials that it's talking about? Nope. Yeah, I'm not too sure about. Yeah, I have no clue, guys. That UI improvement doesn't really make much sense. Monster info page will now display. Okay. No, I think maybe it's talking about the monsters in your inventory. Yeah, monster info page isn't displaying anything of the sort, so I have no clue what's going on with that. So let's go ahead, just ignore this line here. Maybe a bug or something. Okay, so next thing, new tips on the beneficial and harmful effects have been added to the help menu. Go to player profile at the top left of village, game settings, and help to check this. So let's go ahead, check that out real quick. So click on help, beneficial effects and harmful effects. Nice fucking page. Really appreciate CompTOS adding this. This is going to be really useful. We're definitely going to take a look at this later on and have a more in-depth look at it. So stay tuned and hopefully you guys can catch that video. And the last thing for the UI improvements, well, that was the last thing for UI improvements. Now the last thing for the update is bug fix. The issue of monsters returning to the monster storage under certain situations has been fixed. So I've heard some complaints from some of my guild members of this happening. They go do something with their monster and then all of a sudden their monster's gone. They don't know where, like, what happened to it. Then they check their storage and Lord behold, the monster's in storage for whatever reason. So great fix there. Happy they finally got to that. All in all, some nice changes in the update. Main thing, of course, being these pandas. Really nice addition to the game. I'm looking forward to trying out the Fire Panda Warrior in the raids. He's gonna be on my front line for my raid team, so stay tuned for that as well. So be sure to get that fusion, guys. You're definitely gonna want them. And until next time, guys, take care and peace out.